We begin with a score alert from the nation's capital where the Sharks are skating with the Caps. Early in the second period, game tied at 1. Alexander Ovechkin will give the Caps the lead when he slips one past Evgeny Nabokov, his first career goal versus the Sharks. He's now scored on all 30 NHL teams. 28 seconds later, it's Ovechkin again, this time rebound goal. Second of the night makes it 3-1 Ovechkin, having his way with the Sharks so far. It is 3-1 as they begin the third period. Good evening and welcome into Burger King Sportsnet Central. Alongside Miss Mindy Bach, I'm Chuck Fisher. The Sharks, as you saw, not doing too well in the nation's capital, and neither are the Golden State Warriors back here in the Bay Area.
And the regular season check has not even started yet. The Warriors trying to find a winning combination with a young team, but right now they're also trying to win a war of words with a very disgruntled vet, and that is our opening act. Since returning to practice this week after serving a 2-game suspension for arguing with his head coach, Don Nelson, Steven Jackson has continued to publicize his displeasure. The swingman voiced his frustration with teammates and with his coach, and had even said he would be fine if the Warriors wished to send him home with pay, of course. I'm joined now by Larry Riley, the general manager of the Warriors.
That I'm concerned about value and team development.
'Cause you had a bad day, you're taking one down, you sing a sad song just to turn it around. You had a bad day, you see what you like, and how does it feel? One more time, you had a bad day, you had a bad day.
There's universal agreement in the Raiders locker room that the way to instantly turn things around and show the world the kind of team they really are is to beat a good team. They certainly have that opportunity Sunday with Donovan McNabb and the high-flying Eagles coming to town. Kate Longworth had her finger on the collective pulse of the Raiders today by making good use of her press pass. She joins us live from the newsroom.
Well, Chuck, of course, Chuck, only time will tell.
We shall see, Kate. Thank you. Our silver and black coverage just getting warmed up later on Sportsnet Central. Much maligned Jamarcus Russell has heard all the criticism this season. Would it be any different for another quarterback under center for the Raiders?
And Cal's coming off a bye after getting crushed by USC. How will the Bears bounce back against UCLA in another Pac-10 showdown?
And we've shown you this incredible goal before, but it's definitely worth a second look and a weekly award. We'll tell you all about it as Sportsnet Central rolls on.
The curtain in our second act opens in Oakland, where Warriors head coach Don Nelson had hoped to lessen Corey Maggetti's load this season.
I don't know if I can do that now.
The loss of Brandon Wright for possibly 4 to 6 months is one of the biggest unexpected events to come out of Warriors training camp, along with Steven Jackson asking to be replaced as captain. General Manager Larry Riley now with more on the current state of the Warriors in this authentic exclusive.
I don't see that as an issue.
The Eagles enter the black hole Sunday as the Raiders try to get back in the win column. Could the Raiders season look a lot different if one current Eagle had chosen Oakland over Philly? And speaking of getting back in the win column, Stanford got knocked out of the top spot in the Pac-10 last week. Can the Cardinals catch fire again on the road in the Arizona desert? The answer coming up as Sportsnet Central continues. Score alert from the NLCS. The Dodgers' Clayton Kershaw and Phillies' Cole Hamels locked in a pitcher's duel early. It's 1-0 Dodgers is the score as they play the bottom of the fourth inning in Los Angeles.
Meanwhile, the American League Championship Series gets underway tomorrow, and Vallejo's own CC Sabathia gets a start for the Yankees. He'll face a formidable Angels lineup that put up some pretty good numbers against him this season. Sabathia also has struggled in October's past, and so he knows the task he faces tomorrow night will not be an easy one.
The biggest thing for me.
It was a last place finish for the Oakland A's in 2009, and they finished at least 10 games under 500 for the third straight season. So, where should they focus most of their attention this offseason? For those answers, we go deep with A's analyst Shooty Babbitt. The Oakland A's finished 75-87, last place in the American League West. So let's start with the big picture, Shooty. What do they need to improve most?
They have to get some meat in the middle of that lineup.
They kept all their coaches, they just announced the other day. Does that surprise you at all?
No, not for me. And they did that in leaps and bounds.
And the A's played very well in the second half of the season. They were up around 500 there, but there was a glaring omission in the three-hole, I guess you could say. Kurt Suzuki was used there, Ryan Sweeney. As good as those guys are, not three-hole hitters, what do you think they should do with that spot?
Well, they're going to have to get something very hardy in that spot. I mean, that's betting a whole lot on a guy that's had about 6 surgeries in the last 2 years.
Shooty Babbitt always coming in and dropping knowledge on us. Thanks a lot, Shooty.
Chuck, always a pleasure, bro.
Well, from the A's to the Raiders of the Silver and Black hope to snap their 3-game losing streak.
Behind enemy lines we go to talk Michael Vick. Vick caused major waves when he signed with Philly shortly after leaving prison this summer, but he's been quiet ever since. Vick has passed for 1 yard and run for 10 yards so far. Vick knows he'd be in a tough spot if he had signed with the Raiders because Raider Nation would be screaming for him right now with Jamarcus Russell struggling.
You know, if I would have went there, there's just been a lot of quarterback controversy.
Stanford's loss at Oregon State last week was the product of very good defense by the Beavers. Toby Gerhardt held under 100 yards for the first time in 3 weeks, and Stanford coach Jim Harbaugh warns it's going to be even tougher versus the Arizona Wildcats D in the desert this weekend.
Well, on their defensive side of the ball, this is the best secondary we played against. We thought that last week with Oregon State, and this one is better. They have the same kind of defensive line of UCLA and Washington and Oregon State, extremely well prepared, hustle their tails off. I mean, it's physical. Linebackers are that way; they can run, and they really come downhill fast and aggressive. So this is a very good defense.
Well, some things in life require a second look and a third. This one definitely a third, a fourth, and a fifth. Alex Ovechkin has nothing on this Boston kid. What's the deal? Find out straight ahead on Sportsnet Central.
Score alert. Sharks and Capitals again in D.C. 5 minutes into the third period. Caps leading 3-1. Matt Bradley of Washington puts home the rebound goal. That puts the Caps up 4-1. Washington leads by that same score, 4-1, less than 1 minute to go in that game.
Well, our curtain call is also our Whopper Junior Achievement Award, and it goes to Oliver Wallstrom of Portland, Maine, and the Junior Pirates. Why? Well, look at this. We've shown you this before, and this goal is so amazing. The spin-a-roma, it is worth another look again and again. That is a Whopper Junior Achievement Award, an amazing goal at an exhibition event at the Garden in Boston earlier this week, and I wonder if they send him the burger and fries.
They should. That was amazing. And speaking of hockey, we got more hockey. Sharks and Capitals, full highlights and wrap-up tonight at 10:30. We hope you'll join us.